Hey, what's going on? This is Eli from Urban Zoo, and I'm back for another exclusive ego interview. This time, I've got Colten Bear in. How's it going, man?
I'm good, how are you?
Doing great. Can't complain. So when did you start writing your own songs?
Well, I was really young, and honestly, right now, I don't write that good of music, so
Okay.
I definitely work off of talent, like other talented friends of mine, and like that was one thing that like I always thought like I was a bit of a, like I thought I was a bit of a half sort of like talent, but it definitely, like I remember seeing an old interview with, probably I think it was John Mayer or something like that. He said he said in an interview that like the best way to get your music out there and get your knowledge sort of built up was to collaborate with as many different artists as you possibly can.
Get more ears on it.
Exactly, and so there was definitely a point where like I realized I was a bit more. There was a bit more talent involved when I came to arranging music and making other people's lyrics sound like a song. So like you could take a Shakespeare sonnet and turn it into a little bit of a
No
little
way.
bit of a tune. That's sort
Yeah.
of the idea with arranging music, and so that's more what I do.
Okay.
But
So then who writes your lyrics?
I arrange a lot of Kara Marchand's music,
Okay.
and yeah, my buddy Rye mainly writes his own music, and like by the way, you guys got to get him in here for that. But yeah, no, he writes incredible music, and so like mostly I'm writing with Kara, and we're doing our best to get music together. But she's writing all those lyrics and most of the music, honestly, and yeah, she's doing fantastic, and I just sort of like put the songs in a certain direction.
Yeah. And so how long have you guys been working together? How long
A
have you
long
known
time.
her?
I think like the ninth grade is when I
Yeah.
met her. So I don't know how old I was, but yeah, that was mainly it. But we weren't really writing songs together at the time, And then we got like the further we got into the friendship, yeah, we started to realize that there was maybe a little bit something there as a duo, And we haven't really had a lot of opportunities to play as a duo, but we definitely work as one. The song I played for you guys was I swear I sat on that song for a few weeks trying to get it written, and I kept texting Tom and I kept saying like I swear the song's coming, I just don't have it ready.
Yeah.
And like because I just couldn't write it, so like once I started I was pushing it a little too far, and I texted Kara and I said like, can you please just help me finish the song? And she started the song and she wanted me to finish it because I never do that, and she sort of, it would be a nice change. But I couldn't really do it, so I gave it to her, and I swear in 15 minutes it was written.
Wow.
And I was I was kind of angry, honestly, because I thought I
I've been
could.
doing this for 2 weeks
Like 2
now.
weeks I've been sitting on this song,
Yeah.
and yeah, no, she nailed it.
Where do you find a lot of your inspiration for your music?
Other great musicians, honestly, like you can hear, like I think that everything from the 60s and before can be adapted into modern music right now,
yeah.
and it's really impressive when it actually is done properly. And so you see, like John Mayer's a great example of using really old styles of playing the guitar, and like Clapton is the same way, where he can take really old music and he can modernize it in a way that's actually like tolerable to listen to today. It's really strange. A lot of I don't know, like graffiti around Edmonton, I think, is incredibly inspiring, because it's sort of like you can tell that it just happened.
Yeah.
It just sort of came out. So if I ever see like good street art, I tend to want to go do something creative.
Have you ever thought about trying to like get a piece of street art and write a piece around it, like inspired?
I feel like that's normally how it works when I see graffiti, but it's like when it's good, when it's really like that, you don't know what it is, but it's so colorful and
art in
strange, and
itself, yeah.
yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't think that like the songs are about the piece, but it's definitely, it came from the piece. It's definitely why you want to start writing the song. It's all about just wanting to be as creative as whoever just did that. That's exactly what it is.
So what would you say is your favorite track you've ever completed?
I've ever completed? Oh, geez. You see, most of the songs that I've written on my own are not completed.
Okay.
But there's a tune I wrote not long ago that it's not. So I'm sort of like, it's not answering your question, but like it's one of the pieces that I like the best. It's a tune called Lampposts.
Okay.
And that'll get heard eventually. I'll record that eventually. But yeah, it was just about like, for years I was walking, like, when you get up really early for school and it's still dark outside, and so there was always this one lamppost that I would walk past that would turn on when I walked past it, and I
No
talked
way.
to my friends about it, and they said that it happens to them all the time too.
Yeah.
So like I'm sure that it's not, and like it's not
But it
much of a
feels-
phenomenon, but
it
like
feels like
it feels
whoa.
great, you know. It
Yeah.
feels like something's there, you know. Something acknowledges that you're walking past, you know. Something that sounds incredibly stupid, but you know, something there is acknowledging you, and
I know
so
what you mean.
yeah,
My partner talks about the same kind of thing all the time. Where,
Yeah.
Where she's like, anytime I walk under a lamppost, it just turns off.
yeah.
But
Like
it's
off
like-
scares
yeah,
me. When it turns
yeah.
off, that's what sort of creeps me
She
out.
swears she's haunted.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's how it feels when it turns off. Like when it turns on, it feels like something nice is about to happen. You know, it feels like there's like a light shining down on you,
feel-
which
you
is exactly
feel
what it is.
appreciated, yeah.
Exactly. But when it turns off, that's where things are going to take a turn. No, but yeah. So I wrote Lamppost mainly because it kept on happening, and then it stopped for years, and then finally I moved into this one place with my dad, and it started happening again.
With a new lamppost.
Yeah, with a new lamppost, and I thought like and I was just walking past, and me and my cousin, no, not me and my cousin, me and my buddy Christian, we were walking past, and admittedly we were, you know, a drop had been taken,
Yeah.
and we were just walking to a 7-Eleven,
Nice.
and I kept talking about how strange that was to me, like I thought it was just bizarre,
Yeah.
and he said it happens to everybody all the time, you know, and I said like, and I just thought like I don't know what it is, but whatever that is, I believe in it, and I think there's something there, and then so I felt a song in that.
I want to hear the story of your first show, your worst show, and your best show.
That's a fantastic question. My first show, the first time I ever played in front of an audience, it was with Prince Charles School. They had there was 30 of us in the group, and we would go to other elementary schools, and those were fun shows because those kids love it. They've never seen a violin
They
before.
don't have a band program.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and so they absolutely love it, and they're loud, and you play something like mildly recognizable tunes. Like we would play the chicken dance, and we would get all the
Classic.
kids up, and it
Yeah.
would be so fun to the point where like I would much rather be dancing in the audience than playing the chicken dance song. Those shows were always the best shows.
Yeah.
Frank, my worst show though, I think my worst show was they shouldn't have booked me. I promise you, I
no.
had no business being there. But it was like a banquet for like a it was like a corporate event.
Whoa.
And they'd hired just
Heavy.
me alone as a fiddle player,
Okay.
which is it sounds naked when it's alone, a fiddle.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't sound very good. And I was wearing probably these boots. This was I'd say like a year ago. And you just like sometimes fiddle players when they're alone, they'll clog their feet like that.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll just sort of back themselves up. And it was just me and all these people. Like the worst shows for me were not like if I messed up, but it's where nobody's listening.
Yeah.
You know, so you're just sitting there as background music, playing whatever you can. But
That'd
the
be-
music has no business being played because it's not the mood, you know?
And that'd be especially difficult at like you're saying, a corporate event where
Yeah.
it's a bunch of suits like
Exactly, it makes
talking to
no
each other
sense.
about some bullshit.
Yeah, they do not care that you're there,
They're
you
not
know?
there
like
for the music.
yeah, not at all. But like they pay anyway, so it's like you take the shows.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not a fun show to play. You know, those are just you definitely feel out of place.
I get you.
But like yeah, best show. My best show I think was. Oh geez, I don't know. I've had a lot. They're also like all the good shows are good in the same ways, where everyone's listening to you, everyone's shouting songs to play, everybody's asking you to play your own stuff.
The
like just
exact opposite. of the
everyone's
corporate
listening.
event.
Yeah, everyone's listening. Everyone's there to see you. And so like I don't think I could pick just one because I've definitely the ones that I can think of they're just as good as the one that was like a year before it or a year after. And so like yeah, they're mostly as long as somebody's listening and as long as they're there for you, then yeah. But I remember I played a show with Kara. It was Kara's show, and it was like at a little cafe. I forget what the cafe is called, but she was playing most of it alone, and then I was going to come up for a couple songs.
Yeah.
I think I was coming up for one song, and as soon as I was up, they are shouting songs at you. They want you to start playing, and that was the first time I experienced like a real audience wanting you to keep playing, you know. And so we went through close, and it was fantastic. And we would like she played stuff like she played the Friends theme song, and we just sort of had fun with it, you know. I think I think A Star Is Born was out, so we played Shallow like 3 times.
Oh, flat.
Yeah, it was.
You have
Yeah,
to.
exactly. Yeah, it's just sort of what the
what
vibe
the
was at the
people
time.
want.
It's what the people want, you know. But yeah, and Kara can hit those notes. I can't. Like I was sort of like I was faking my way through the whole song.
Yeah.
But luckily, Bradley Cooper's part isn't complicated,
not
so
too
you just yeah, and then Lady Gaga has to start screaming your face off.
Yeah.
I couldn't
lucky
sing
you
it
weren't the
alone.
Gaga.
Yeah, lucky I wasn't the Gaga.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you, buddy.
out. This has been another exclusive Ego interview with Colten Bear. Thank you, man.
Cool. Lovely.